Legit shit.
Here we are, all the dry checks. It's 136. So.
There he is, there he is. What's up? Good to see you. Mwah. Good to see you too. Come on in the house. Man with the plan, man with the plan. Good, good, good. Damn!
So I figured we would get a little tour.
Okay.
And more of like a visual tour and then audio wise. Yeah. Kind of go up there. Yeah. He might be closer to you. Yeah. In here. Get some audio. Rocker.
Most embarrassing time for you to be present because of we own 3 bays. So it's 1, 2, 3. They all connect. We've knocked them out. So they all have some sort of functionality. The third one, I want to show you just for GP. It looks like San Francisco. It's a conglomerate of mixed-use mess, but it's functional. We know where it's all. Everything's at. Hold on. The one thing that you did get this.
Don't block them up.
Yeah, that's right. I lead the bee and the crow. Yep. Come on, baby. Yep.
Wow.
So what we missed today, which you would have had to be here at 6 in the morning, there is 17 vans out here. They're all loading up and going. They're all loading up and going. So
How many do you have going?
we have 18, one's down. We just bought 2 more because we're trying to grow our routes in Maryland. It's kind of taking us that direction. This is our first space that we bought. We own the real estate. We own 3, 132, 134, 136. Our neighbors in Jiu-Jitsu, we're going to bust those walls out. We're not redoing their lease. We own 2 back here. So we're going all things in restoration. So you're not here to talk about that, but kind of get to love land. This is kind of where everything, the magic happens for DRYY. So no matter where you drop it, whether it's a locker, a building, a commercial space, a government contract, no matter where, everything from DC, Maryland, Virginia that we clean and touch comes here. There is dry cleaning and wet cleaning. Launders versus dry cleaning. Nobody ever makes that explanation very well. Wet clean is just kind of more of the launder shirts, the cottons, the polyesters. Dry cleaning is really the more industrial, robust concept of dry cleaning. We use a great earth. It's eco-friendly. It returns to its natural format, which is silicone and sand with a little trace of water. We've got 4 major industrial machines in the back. We do about 7,000 garments a day. It's pretty massive. The shirt, as you can tell, is our #1 moneymaker. So you guys, you've not signed waivers. Please be careful. Don't bump heads. Things are low. Press machine. Right now we're kind of working the collars and sleeves. As you can see, we load them up. And the volume hadn't hit yet. So we're about to hit about noon today. As you can see, it's pretty, one step down from the drone. Drones are next.
These machines are legit, man.
Legit, dude. Yeah. So typically, by afternoon, they'll all be humming. One of the courtesies that we do, which most of our members don't even know that we do it. If you're missing a button or there's something coming out, we run over and we do it really quick. We'll put a little note on it saying, hey, we touched it up for you as a courtesy. Thank you for being a member.
I love that.
Wow. My team would have made you on the button matching capabilities. They seem to blow my mind every single time. Yeah.
I love that. All the details.
Oh, there you go.
Everything is inspected right here. We look for anything, any buttons that we missed, any tears, any holes, any
Quality
stains.
control.
A little quality control. We like to make this effective. We do miss some things. So.
Sleeve. That does the front of the jacket and the lapel. And then they have a separate sleeve thing for it. Same thing here, right? And these are hot. These are, right? Ken, these are hot. These are, well, it says hot.
They will light your ass up. They will light your ass up.
Do the best you can.
This is my boss. So Tommy is our production manager, all things, everything. Tommy can go over here on the machine breakdown and bust it open, rerun belts, rerun bolts. His skill set is valuable. Every bolt is someone's items that's being stored, it's being cleaned. We're waiting for reconstruction. This is where the real magic's at for us. So we will not grow our dry cleaning anymore. We are happy with what we have. We're going in all things.
So you're going to need a lot more space.
So we just brought a forklift today. So we get this crap off the floor. Right. And so it allows us to do about 60 more bolts. And so one bolt is like 1 room of furniture. And so bolts equate to money, obviously. And we have 3,000 square feet up here. I'll show you if you guys want. Just kind of get a be careful about these. And then we do dry clean a lot. And so this is kind of where the lockers get assembled when we get a new building. We actually, proud to say, whoop whoop, shut down our competition, DRYY Cleaners. And in the midst of them pulling out of town, we bought all their locker inventory.
Well, you beat out Todd. Sorry, Todd.
Yeah.
Not your time.
Gotta go,
Todd.
baby.
Gotta go.
Ain't no orange wave
Sorry,
in DC.
Todd.
Wow, I love
Back it
that.
up, Todd.
Yeah, so we bought all of them. We're down to very few. This used to be the whole wall.
Oh, wow.
And lockers have kind of slowed down because we've got them in all the buildings we want to be in. And we're selective now. So we just strip and reroute and rebrand as we get. So this Friday we'll be putting the installs out on the trucks. Everything is a very repetitive process here. It's process flow.
Yeah.
And in these situations, we don't look for stains and buttons because we're there for a loss, not a dry cleaning. So this is all, again, storage. Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How's it going?
I'm good.
Good.
Good to see you. Welcome out to Ashburn.
Thank you, thank you. Well, welcome to the next sort of interview of Clothing and Community, where we're sort of reaching out to our clients and getting to know them a little better. The people that are supporting us, we want to support them and get to know them because they're the Commonwealth proper client around the country is some of the most interesting people that I've ever met, you know, over the last 15 years. And you know, when we came down to DC, you were in January an early adopter and a raving fan of what we do. And as we got to know each other a little bit, I get to sort of see what you do. And we're out here at your facility. And before we start, I always like to start off with a little little something, something. It's your birthday coming up
Wow,
too, so we're doing a
okay.
little Prosecco.
Okay.
Prosecco for the room here.
That's
And,
right.
But yeah, so Ken, you know, as I labor through this, maybe you can tell me,
Yeah.
you know, where did it all begin for you?
Yeah.
With dry cleaners.
Yeah, 10 years ago, I was laid off from a government logistics job and was forced to look at my life. And to our love letter series, which recently just went viral, if you're gonna take a chance on anybody, take a chance on yourself. And so I made a commitment to finally do that. And so I set out to be a serial entrepreneur. I had no idea what I was gonna do. I started a small marketing firm.
So let me just stop you right there.
Yeah.
So, sort of out of adversity of getting laid off, you're like, it gave you some time to think about your priorities and your life and everything. So.
I tried a few things in my early years that were failures. And I had the entrepreneurial bug and the spirit, and lots of folks had told me that. So I just felt that the timing was more appropriate than ever. And if I was ever going to do it, it was then. And so I set out, as I said, started a small marketing firm, and I just helped small minority, predominantly women, small businesses, help create branding.
Are you a marketing guy? Did you go to
Identity.
school for
I
it?
did. I went to VCU out of Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, so marketing is something supernatural for me, hence dry. Cheers to dry.
Yeah.
And just set out and started doing dry cleaning lockers. I went to an entrepreneur summit, and cheers to friendship. And I saw the concept on the West Coast and was really intrigued by it. But you know, telling the full story, I had the opportunity to know some of the pain points here in DC around the multifamily explosion.
So more people are moving to DC than ever. And
and the competition's ever so high, and amenities are at a premium, and developers are competing, right?
But what led you to dry cleaning? I mean,
Yeah.
you were helping out a marketing. You had a marketing firm. You were helping out women-owned small businesses and had a market.
I felt fulfilled, but you know, the economics have to be there, right? And so it wasn't happening fast enough. And no secret, I have no patience. So maybe if I just stayed there, it would have been bigger now. But thankfully, it led me to other things. So I went to the West Coast to a summit, and I saw the concept.
And you were like, you saw the insight of the explosion of population here in DC, and you said,
Convenience-based solutions.
apply that concept.
Yeah. Technology was marrying everything. And so I was like, why can't it marry dry cleaning? DC's a legislation town. There will always be a need for dry cleaning here. So there's lots of thought went behind it. But I was just jazzed by the concept, right? And so it was a low entry, which is another attraction. It didn't take much. And so we bought exclusive rights for the market for 3 years, and we just started going hard. And so we began changing.
And when was that? When did you start?
2015, 2016.
2015, okay.
And we began to change the way DC does laundry by way of technology. And so there was no noise at the development level, and they all had a taste for it. And so the claim to fame was to meet at pre-construction, determine how many lockers you need for your building, get with your designers and your architects, and let's create a fit in, so it really fits the property well.
Ah, so that's the concept you saw out there, was the lockers in these new construction
Correct.
buildings. And when the new construction started happening in DC,
Yeah.
like, let me slot that right in.
And it speaks to a lot of things. It speaks to the property management companies when they all need to reclaim time and do the many other services that are necessary for residents. Who wants to be dealing with dry cleaning?
Right. I mean, this is 2023, and we drove out here we're in Ashburn right now, we drove out from DC, and you can see construction going on everywhere you go.
Cranes in the
still.
sky, it's insane.
Yeah.
So
It continues.
it's a hot market, yeah, for sure. So I think we got it right. I think post-pandemic, dry cleaning is starting to come back. You guys kind of walked around the plant a little bit. It's all cylinders. Thankfully, it's finally coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had the original locker concept that you applied to the buildings,
Yeah.
and then have you expanded out into other elements of dry cleaning?
Retail, so the lockers, we thought we had hit the stride. We thought that was the solution, that we were going to speak to everybody. And we learned that, it's just basic formulas, right? I'm in 10 buildings in one neighborhood, and the average unit size is 300 units, and we were looking at 27% usage. That was an alarm for me. And we've done everything we could possibly do. We've marketed to the building, we've done pop-ups, wine and cheeses, we've supported grand openings, we've done everything we could to make ourselves known, and we were still not getting the bulk in what we thought. So we did some real gangster intel. We would sit out in front of buildings from like 3 to 7, which is DC's rush hour, and we would count a tick sheet, the old school, on how many people would get off the metro, walk home, go up to their unit, walk their dog, go back, get their dry cleaning, and walk past our lockers.
I can see you now with a newspaper on the bench,
I'm like,
you know, like.
Go back in. There's a,
Like,
there's a
oh, he's coming out
solution
again.
on site. And so
It's like,
it told me two things.
Great insight.
A, I may never be able to speak, and once we install lockers, I lose all power on marketing. I'm reliant on the building and the property management company that, let me remind you, wanted me to be there to market it.
So three years in or so to
Yeah.
this concept, the numbers weren't making as much sense as you wanted them to. So you look for a key insight from the behavior of your clients or would-be
Well said.
clients. And from that, you took away that, hey, if we add some retail, we can get the people that aren't necessarily
Yeah.
using the building.
It told us that there is still human engagement cravings, and that people still enjoyed that, which was contradictory to most of my friends that I really admire and respect in business were telling me I was crazy to be thinking about retail. But I didn't want to bring retail to the suburbs. I wanted it to be super central, super urban, and frankly, I wanted an all roads lead to dry concept.
So then you started the retail push. How
Yeah.
many stores do you have now?
We have 3 branded as dry. We have 1 in construction at Capitol Riverfront that will be opening in the next 3 to 5 months. Still going through some certificate of occupancy things there. We own Noma Cleaners in Noma. We bought that initially to kind of get indoctrinated into retail. We did nothing about it.
So it's sort of like a test case for you.
Test
You see
case.
how it operates.
And determine, did we really need to go all in on details and design and aesthetic?
Well, I've been to your stores
Yeah.
before, and you did go deep into that.
We went
Tell me a little bit about that process.
We hired a core architect out of Georgetown, Allison Cook, and her team of superstars, which really helped us create this identity. Without them, we would have not been here today. And so they left no rock unturned. They really thought about every single square foot. In fact, it's all in concert, right? So just I encourage everybody to visit a store to get the gravity.
Well, what's sort of well, let's rewind it a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a nice intro to drying what you do.
Yeah.
And, well, I guess just related to that, well, just to put a bookend to the whole conversation about at least dry phase 1 here. I see trucks out there. I
Yeah.
see DRYY on all the trucks driving through Georgetown and elsewhere. So tell me about sort of that service. It seems very concierge style.
It is, and so the way we started our grassroots is the traditional valet that's home delivery, door to door.
Okay.
Or door to concierge, or door to bellman, or to your commercial location at work. So that'll always be our foundation. It just doesn't, it's not our model. So we do push areas that have the density potential, like Georgetown, Potomac, Great Falls, McLean, those areas where
Makes sense.
makes sense,
Yeah.
right? There's disposable income that really get the convenience-based solution. But it's not our primary, it's just one of our service channels. And we just want to be a hyper-local solution from this point forward. We manage it well here. When we mess up, we can fix it. But we were well on our way.
Yeah.
So,
Well, look, I mean, I've now been out to your facility here.
Yeah.
I've seen your retail stores. I've seen your trucks. We hung out personally and
Yep.
professionally, and
We've done some dope collabs.
yes, yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. We're trying to get DC looking their best for sure.
Yeah.
You're a success, and I think you're someone that is not afraid to say that. You don't want to be number two. That'd be a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
You're number one in dry cleaning in
Yeah.
DC, the DMV area, and I think people that are also entrepreneurs in other endeavors can learn from kind of the things that you went through in your journey. I mean, you
Yeah.
didn't start off with a silver spoon in your mouth,
No.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
tell me about your
It was-
upbringing and sort of how you got to
Yeah.
where you're at now.
Super humble beginnings. So I, by the way, introduced, to, I thought we were rich, but we were not. Super humble beginnings. If I, as I get older, I look back.
Where were you born?
Richmond, Virginia. Born and raised. Out of college, I kind of went all over. Went to Charlotte, went to Atlanta, lived in Jersey and New York a little bit. So I kind of tried, mostly East Coast cities, never really endeavored in the West. I started a travel business that did well for fun. It did nothing for financials. I started was part of a startup on a staffing firm that we did very well. Healthcare reform hit in 2007, and so that wasn't as fruitful anymore.
Yeah.
And then I went back into the corporate realm and just done the ball and chain thing, which is just not for me.
Yeah.
But upbringing was pretty modest. Wasn't given anything. Everything was earned. I'm still on that journey, by the way. Being successful was a lot of grit. It was a lot of 15-hour days, no sleep, making lots of mistakes, running every task in the building, running routes, checking laundry, picking up laundry, running credit cards, setting up new accounts, trying to figure it out. So
doing every element.
everything, every element.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. How many people work
Yeah.
for you now?
In here in the production facility, our centralized eco-friendly cleaning lab, we've got 47 people that
Okay.
show up every
Wow.
day, and that ranges from production to check-in to customer service.
And then how about the drivers?
About 15
15 years.
that deploy from here every day to kind of cross-cover the landscape here in DC for excellence.
Dry is a success. It's going to continue to grow
Yeah.
and flourish down here. And I know that you have got a big heart, and that
Yeah.
extends outside of Dry is
Yeah.
is a way for you to reach a lot of people and do good. And I've been to a couple of the events, and I wonder if you could kind of tell us about
Yeah.
some of the community outreach that you've done with Dry.
I'm from the community. Listen, so I get it. I get where those resources lack, and I get what that does long term. And so it's very natural for me to want to give back. But you have to be successful first, and that's very key, right? You can't give it all and not be successful. So once we got into a rhythm, we launched a philanthropic arm here. And so we just, again, it's not political. There's no formula. We don't know what we're doing. We just know we like making an impact and creating some value in the community. And we do that quarterly, yearly, weekly, daily. Every day we set out, we try to enrich the communities that we serve.
Yeah, and you've talk about some of the initiatives
Yeah.
in particular.
So we everything's a play on the word dry, right? Because we think we got the branding right. So it's easy. It's a low lift. We do an annual dry run, 5K. It's out of our flagship Union Market location, and it's just meant to bring everybody out for a good cause: fun, fitness, and philanthropy. Each year we pick somebody that we feel in the community needs a little more visibility. We think they're badass and could just use a little assistance and bringing some equity to them and donations. And then we are definitely delivering a laundromat to the community. Just don't know where we're looking for the right deal.
Really?
And the laundromat will be like Dry. It'll be a very community-based
Very cool.
service, and so it will have arms that extends into the community. It will offer literacy to kids, maybe tutoring, right? It's
Wow.
great engagement space. Kids are there for 8 hours. I was a laundromat kid. It's horrible. It's torture. So it could be used a lot more effectively and
Yeah.
constructively. And
Yeah.
so it's just a vision now. It's in the cloud. I haven't brought it
It's a
down.
great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Open enrollment for seniors and healthcare stuff, and maybe it's a voting place. Who knows?
Wow.
So that's the next. We're currently aggressively looking
For space.
for space.
Wow. That's,
And you guys make that really easy, by the way. The whole Commonwealth brand, it's sexy. It is the brand, by the way.
Thank you.
Your space is incredible.
Well, the jacket looks great on you. It's a little-
Well, hello, I was going there, but you took and I have officially been
Zoom in on the crow and the.
Bam.
It's one of our favorite ones. Yeah, you wear the brand well.
I do. I enjoy the brand. The brand is something that gives me a little pep in my step. So
Well,
For sure.
You got some dope garments in production.
I do.
as we speak.
yeah, and some in my closet. So
Yeah.
obviously, I hope I've proven that I'm a fan
You are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
on all things style and fashion and collaboration and support.
Well, let's.
Yeah, we
I
appreciate
definitely want to be more involved in. We're natural bedfellows, right? Dry
I agree.
cleaning and tailored clothing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's same, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna get thinking about some
Yeah.
collaborative thing. Maybe we do a little 3v3 soccer tournament.
I love that.
In the fall.
Let's create
you
a
know,
DC
and
or Georgetown Fashion Week. Huh?
Okay, I like
And
that.
do the red carpet in your
In
studio.
our location, because we have that long space.
Huh?
Or we shut down Wisconsin.
Wisconsin,
We do
I
it, we
love
do it
it.
right in
I'll
front of
pull
my
the permit.
space. I believe that if you build it, they will come. In a little bit
Yeah.
of a way.
I
and
agree.
Sometimes you got to pop open the door
Yeah.
with different community events, art, what have you, and
I can speak personally to that you're well on your way because we did that and it was very natural for us to do super what one would think is unconventional a dry cleaner would do.
yeah,
And I committed to taking up space
Yeah.
and I do think that it's paid off. So
yeah,
you're probably right where you're supposed to be.
that's where it feels, man.
Yeah, man, come on. That's it. Yeah.
Aw,
There'll be more. Yeah.
Why are you so perfect?
What do you mean? Come on, y'all.
Hate you Virgos, you guys are perfect.
Yeah.
We finish this off?
We should finish it off. Yeah.
Hot sauce.
It'll be good for my inspection.